You got to give it up to Tim Burton. I believe these are his characters, and what an imagination this man has, right?
Yeah.
From the creation of Beetlejuice to Edward Scissorhands,
Hmm.
right, to A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hmm.
You got that, Jack.
Frankenweenie.
Yeah, Frankenweenie was one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
This guy, man, he's very creative, and it's kind of great how he can just take something as dark and just kind of twist it and give something that, like you said, like spooky and kind of whatever, but kind of give that dark character a heart where you can change, where you can care for somebody like that.
Right, right. I remember one of the first animations that he did that I saw of his, and it was called The Family Dog.
Uh,
And it was part of a Steven Spielberg TV show that used to come on back in the day. To go Amazing
it's
Stories.
Amazing Stories. That's the one that was
Yeah,
on NBC. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
right.
he did
Yeah,
this
yeah.
cartoon
That
called
was
The
a good.
Family
Yeah.
Dog, and the kid was creepy looking, and the dog was kind of, and they had the dad, and it was just like this odd kind of family thing. And this is before The Simpsons and all that kind of stuff. But it was like,
Uh,
they were just treating that dog like crap, and that dog was saving that family the whole time. But the dog would have issues like the dad will fart and then blame it on the dog. So then people spank the dog for nasty dog, nasty dog. And the dad just like, that poor dog, man. It was just, but just the humor and the take and it was kind of distorted looking characters and stuff. It was just kind of, it was different. It was before his time. So that just kind of gave you an idea of his sensibilities with stuff, that he
oh
also
yeah, for
lends to
sure.
all the stuff he does. Because even when he did the second Batman movie, Batman Returns, that was almost even more of that was
I
more a
forgot.
Tim Burton Batman than it was Batman. The first one was more kind of like Batman with some Burton sprinkled in there, but that second one, Batman Returns, that was straight up a Tim Burton film. Just the characters and how the Penguin looked, and he changed it from
Right.
a regular guy to almost like this mutant creature thing that's deformed and lived in the sewer, and just all these crazy, this dark circus that come through the night and rob people and stuff. He
For
just have a
sure. Yeah.
twisted kind of thing where he has this tragic, crazy stuff going on. It's always taking place during Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's just
Right. Right.
dark and snowy, but terrorizing with people and weird characters. And
You just reminded me. That's right. He did do the Batman movies, man.
yeah,
He did the
yeah,
one with Jack Nicholson as the Joker, right?
which was brilliant.
Brilliant. Great
Jack played
casting right
Jack.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
he just played it right. He just played himself,
yeah.
right? Then the second installment with Clooney and what's that, Chris? They were comparing cod pieces.
Oh no, that
uh
wasn't. He didn't do that one. That
he
was
didn't do that one?
no. He did the second one that had Danny DeVito playing the Penguin, and he had Michelle Pfeiffer playing Catwoman. That was the second one.
Okay, okay,
The
because
first
okay,
one was
I'm
him and
getting
Jack Nicholson.
okay. So the other one with Clooney and what's her name played Poison Ivy.
Yeah, Uma Thurman.
Yeah, Uma Thurman. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, I didn't care for those, but but it's funny. A friend of mine, he grew up then around that time when that came out, and he loved that interpretation of Batman. I wasn't happy, but it was interesting how I remember when they were saying like, Batman's coming out, Tim Burton's directing it, and they casting Michael Keaton as Batman. People were pissed. This is before internet and all that kind of stuff. People
Yeah,
was mad. They were like, "I don't want Mr. Mom slash
Mr. Mom
Beetlejuice
yeah,
playing playing
playing
Batman."
Batman.
Right,
Right. How's
right.
that going to work out?
Right, and that's my favorite Batman.
Uh,
To this day, that's still my. I don't care who comes and do what. I don't care how
Really?
good the new movies and stuff is and all that kind of stuff. Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman.
I'm gonna have to go with Christian Bale, but
I get it.
Michael Keaton would be number two.
Okay, that's
You
fair.
know,
That's fair.
it's like we're on the subject of Batman and Tim Burton, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, I think Burton was trying to stick to the to Adam the West character of it, the Batman show and how campy it was, right?
Which one?
Uh,
You talking about which one? You talking about the one with George Clooney and stuff? Or you talking about?
well, I'm just talking about how the first installment of Batman,
Hmm.
right, with the Batmobile and Michael Keaton and all that, and
Yeah.
playing all the villains and stuff. It used to be really campy, and they tried to, as we progressed through all the Batman movies, it started becoming a little bit more grittier, right? I think the audience kind of was like, okay, this kind of stuff is not, it's fun and everything, but give me some realism, right? And that's why
Right.
we're at the point we're at now with the Christian Bale Batman and what's his name playing Joker now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
Wait, is that Jared Leto, or
Jared
is it?
Leto played the Joker, the one with the like he's almost like a gang member when he had the tats on his face and
Yeah,
all
okay,
that.
okay. Playing the Joker in that movie. I'm
Are you talking about Joaquin Phoenix playing the
Joaquin
Joker?
Phoenix,
Okay,
right?
yeah. So he's playing like a spin-off thing that's I don't know if that's
Top
even connected to our, that's on a whole other kind of world, but
world, right?
yeah,
Right. I'm just talking about how gritty is
yeah,
getting, right?
yeah.
How Tim Burton kind of took the character like the Penguin and reimagined him
Hmm.
to make him a little bit more gritty,
Hmm.
rather than what's that guy's name? He played Mickey in Rocky.
Oh, it's something Burgess.
Something Burgess, whack, whack, whack,
Yeah,
walking
yeah.
around and waddling around and
Hmm.
stuff. And when that one scene where he made Danny DeVito eat that fucking raw fish or whatever as a
Yeah.
penguin, I was like, that was pretty genius right there, man.
Yeah, and he's constantly trying to sleep with Catwoman, which I thought was like, man, it was kind of heavy. But like I said, it was funny because he kind of got flack for the first one did so good, it was very successful. So of course they wanted him back, and he's like, if I'm coming back, I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it. So then you got this kind of twisted interpretation of Batman, right? And
Right.
I guess at the time I didn't know how to quite feel about it. It was like it was cool, but it was also kind of like, oh, this is kind of crazy. And the Penguin looks crazy, and he's trying to sleep with Catwoman, and he got these killer clowns, and Batman throwing people off of stuff. I'm like, Batman killing people? So it was all this kind of stuff. And I remember they didn't want him back for the third one because they couldn't sell Happy Meals or some kind of crap. Like the kids were afraid of the toys because
Of the toys,
the way
right?
Penguin and stuff looked like that. So
Yeah.
they kind of didn't want him back for the third one. So they got the director Joel Schumacher to take over, and that's when it just went campy again. It's just like,
Right.
and it was just to me, it was too far of a swing. Like I said, my boy, he's younger than me, so he likes it. But Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, I was like, and Poison Ivy, and
Yeah, it got
and
campy.
Bane was just like this, you know.
I don't know. Would you say that Tim Burton is he kind of painting himself in a corner on it has to be a specific type of genre where he's like successful?
I don't know how I would say that.
Because I
Well,
kind of compare him to like M. Night Shyamalan, for instance,
okay,
right? I mean, I kind of see similarities in those two, where it's a certain style of movie that they have, a certain style of
I
script,
I
you
agree with
know?
that. They have a strong vision
Right.
that will every. But I would say the same thing about Spike Lee too. But I'm just saying, if I saw a Spike Lee movie pop up, I would know it was him, even if I didn't see the credits. I would know certain
Okay,
moves, like the guy gliding down the street. I would know that would be
right.
Spike Lee.
That's a Spike. Yeah,
And with Tim Burton, if it's some kind of animated kind of claymation, stop motion stuff going on, I know that's like one of his thing.
his things for sure.
M Night with the close shots to the face and a twist, So I think those guys are heavily. They have a style that they adhere to that makes their stuff recognizable. But I understand being in a box, but I don't know. I guess the box would depend on if you like what they're doing or not. I guess.
So M. Night has been talking about like superheroes, so to speak, supernatural stuff,
Right.
UFO stuff,
Hmm.
right? Having a twist, having a deeper meaning, right?
Right.
I can't articulate exactly what my thoughts are going through, but that's the best I can do. For Tim Burton, it's always about like, dabbling in dark moodiness, moody
Yeah.
characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then giving them heart so you care for them, right?
Right.
And the,
You kind of root for the monster.
yeah, exactly. He roots for the outsider,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, you had mentioned Spike,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Spike Lee, if you look at all the movies, his work, he has done an amazing collage of work, different
Yeah.
subject matters, right?
Hmm.
So that's why I think he's a little bit more versatile than those two directors that we mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's more versatile. Definitely, like when you say this, his style, right? Like
Hmm.
classic example of the guy gliding on the sidewalk is always in a signature move in his movies.
Yeah.
But the subject matter that he covers from the 25th hour to
I
uh,
love that movie. I think it's
great,
underrated, and I
underrated,
love that movie. Edward Norton.
great. Edward
Oh
Norton,
man,
fantastic
man,
movie, right?
man.
Fantastic movie. The book is even better. I don't know if you.
No,
I,
I never read it.
well, man, I was living in Fairfield. Went to the movie theaters out there. I saw
Yeah.
the preview. Found out that it was a book.
Hmm.
As soon as the movie, I forgot movie I was even there to watch. It might have been that awful the Man with the Iron Fist movie for all I know. But when I left early, I went to the Barnes and Nobles and I picked up the book.
Wow.
And I read the book, and then I went to go see the movie, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, 25th Hour. I think his last joint, where the black guy played a Ku Klux Klan member.
Oh, Black Klansman.
Yeah, Black Klansman was great. I'm a big Spike Lee fan right now.
He has years of
movies. She's got to have it.
He got Game.
Jungle Fever. He got Game. I've seen all his movies.
Yeah.
What's that one? It's a play on black exploitation. You had these two guys.
Bamboozled.
Bamboozled was excellent.
Oh, what you know about that?
Oh man, hey, man! I thought you knew.
Yeah, I'm learning.
I'm certified.
That's the movie, man. Bamboozled, man. That's a heavy movie, but it is so on point. It spoke to so much stuff, man.
Yeah, Malcolm X. I've seen all his work, bro. He's a guy that I will watch his stuff, bro. For real.
Me too. Yeah, wow. Man. Okay. That's
You're learning more and more about me, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Yeah. He's Spike. Yeah, Spike. He's always kind of about the human condition,
Exactly.
And so that is a wider net. And like I said, they're just different kind of directors, but they have a strong theme and take on stuff. They have eye.
They have a niche for sure.
Because with Tim Burton, you have stuff like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He did Sweeney Todd. He did Alice in Wonderland, where he always had to kind of have. What's his name playing all the characters that's kind of like him.
Are these Burton movies?
Yeah, Tim Burton, yeah. Dark Shadows. He always has
Johnny Depp. Yeah. Johnny Depp, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, so he always got these, like I said, odd characters that's kind of quirky and non-traditional. So that's the thing he kind of leans in on.
Dark Shadows, I saw that. Todd Sweeney, I did not.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd.
Or Sweeney Todd?
Mm-hmm.
Is that movie, so I've heard that's based on the Barber of Seville?
Yep, the Barber of Seville, yep.
Okay, I have to
get more than a shave and a haircut.
Shave and a haircut, two bits.
That's right.